This is Andy Lewis, and you're listening to the Norse Mentality. There is one thing that holds most people back in life, and this is something that's shoved down our throats constantly, and it's encouraged by people that love us the most. And that one thing is the victim mentality. I wanted to bring one of my closest friends, Brendan, on because Brendan, you're honestly just fucked up in general. You got all kinds of shit wrong with you.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
So I know you're diabetic, type 1. Mm-hmm. And then what else?
Yeah, type 1 diabetic, been that way since I was 8, so it's like almost 20 years now. And then as of like 2015, 2016, I developed some kind of like hyperthyroid disorder called Graves' disease, and I guess these disorders kind of go hand in hand.
What is Graves' disease? It sounds gnarly.
Graves' disease. So, with like type 1 diabetes, the reason it happens is because your body basically attacks the islet cells in the pancreas that produce the insulin, that kills them. It's kind of like that, but instead your body is attacking your thyroid gland, and when your thyroid gland is being attacked, I don't know the science behind it, but it basically causes it to just go haywire and start producing a ton of hormone. Okay. And so all your process, like your metabolic processes, all that gets sped up. And so what ends up happening is, you get really, really hungry all the time. You can eat all the food in the world you want. You don't put weight on. You end up losing weight. Like I lost like 20 pounds.
And if you're lifting, it's
pretty much the worst thing to do. It's pretty much the worst thing you could ever have happen if you're trying to lift weights to get strong. And there's other stuff that happens. I mean, it messes with your heart rate. You usually develop like an arrhythmia. You develop a ton of anxiety, and it could happen at pretty much any time. There's no trigger for it. You just have anxiety. You can get like a tremor. There's all kinds of things that can happen. I mean, there's some people even have developed like muscle wasting. So like, yeah. But I mean, So like the thing with these diseases or these disorders is that the worst of it happens if you're not taking care of yourself. So a lot of those things could happen to me, but not necessarily have. How
hard did it hit you?
I mean, it hammered me pretty good. Like I said, I lost like 20 pounds when it first started happening. It was kind of nice because it was like, I guess I'm cutting now and like I'm looking pretty good. And but then I started getting really weak. My lifts took a dump. Like I used to be able to, at that point in time, I was able to squat like 585 and I dropped down to like 545 with reps. So that was kind of a mess. And I started having what are called thyroid storms. And that's basically, I haven't told you about this?
No, fucking thyroid storm.
Yeah, man, it's real. So yeah, like I developed thyroid storms. It's like a short period of time where all of those processes that are normally sped up just shoot through the roof, and like it can put you out.
Really?
Yeah. And it got to I had a storm one time when I was just trying to go grocery shopping, and I had sweat like dripping down my back. I was shaking and
over grocery shopping.
Just because it was grocery shopping. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's basically what I got wrong with me.
Both of those sound so gnarly. Graves' disease and thyroid storm.
Yeah. Yep, thyroid storm. I felt pretty bad being type 1 diabetic because you get the high blood sugars and the low blood sugars. But when I started having storms, I legit felt like I was gonna like keel over and die.
Holy shit! Yeah, that's gnarly. So is that pretty much under control now?
Yeah. So the good thing about the Graves' disease is that it's pretty easy to treat compared to type 1 diabetes. With Graves' disease, for the most part, what they put you on is like an anti-thyroid medication. And as long as you run that for, I don't know, some people run it for like 6 months, some will run it for a year. It controls their symptoms and keeps them down long enough that it kind of just goes away. But you also, like, it never goes away permanently. So
you still have it?
It can come back. like it fluctuates. I'll have a couple months where I'm feeling good and I don't need anything, and I'll have other months where it's just like every friggin' day. I don't like. I basically have to go to the doctor and be like, "Can I have drugs, please?" Like it's not good. I'm having a hard time. I need the drugs.
So yeah, if anyone could use illnesses or anything as an excuse, I mean you could. But I've known you for 10 years now, and you never have. Like I've never heard you bitch about being a diabetic and not being able to do something. You had the whole Graves' disease thing, which I remember when that happened, and it sucked. But you never really bitched about it. You were just like, it is what it is, and you made the best of the situation. So that's why I wanted to get you on the podcast to talk about the victim mentality, because out of everyone I know, like I said, you could definitely play that card, but you don't. And has it ever even been a consideration for you to use that as an excuse?
I mean, I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I never feel down because of what I got going on. I think everybody goes through that.
But you don't like throw it out there for the world as a crutch, I guess.
No, I don't even like to tell people. Like like if I start a new job, I don't really like to tell people. If I meet someone, if it comes up, I'll talk about it. But I'm not like going door to door, like going up to people at the gym and be like, "Hey man, I got diabetes and it sucks."
And you're also one of the hardest workers in the gym. Like, not meaning to jerk your dick or anything, but
you're a little bit.
I mean, a little bit. But like here at Norse, you always come in, you put in the work, like you're always breaking a sweat. And once again, like you don't go around telling everyone in the gym that you're type 1 diabetic with all this other autoimmune bullshit going on. So anyways, we'll talk about how people we'll take it away from you now, okay. I guess necessarily. But anyways, I just wanted that little intro. But yeah, so this is something that we see constantly, especially with the whole social media thing, is everyone's looking for attention as if they don't get enough of it as it is. But they're using social media as, I have this wrong with me. I can't do this because, even if it's money or illnesses or anything like that, which there are problems out there that really inhibit people from making progress.
Sure.
In general. But when you go out of your way to shove it down everyone else's throats for attention, that's just setting you up for failure, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, whatever you say about yourself is just going to get reinforced subconsciously. So you don't necessarily need to be talking yourself up all the time on social media and puffing your chest, but if you're on social media and you're addicted to that feedback loop of, oh, I got this wrong with me and I feel bad, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this, and you get all those likes and the comments and everything.
It starts to reinforce it. Like, this is okay. Like, I'm glad that I have this.
Well, it becomes a loop. So basically what happens is the first time you do something like that, you're not necessarily, like, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into when you first put something up like that. But when it comes up, when you put it up and then you start getting all that attention, at that point you can very quickly become addicted to the attention. And then you create a feedback loop where, well, if I stop being a victim, I'm not going to get the attention. So I just need to keep being a victim. And
then everything in your life's an issue.
Yeah, well, it just flows down to every other aspect of your life. It could be your job. It could be your relationships.
Do you think people will start self-sabotaging just because of that?
I think some do.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like at a subconscious level.
Right. I don't think they have control over it. I don't think they realize that they're doing it.
I mean, I've had feelings like that. I've gone through when I was a lot younger, I went through a whole summer where I was just like, I'm diabetic. There's nothing I can do about it.
What brought you out of that?
I guess after feeling like complete garbage, having 400 plus blood sugars day in, day out, it got to the point where I couldn't even live my life anymore because friends would want to go out and do this and that, and I was feeling like garbage, and I was having to pee every 5 minutes, and I just didn't want to do anything.
How old were you?
Like 16.
So I guess maybe it's just something that you just accepted. It's like, this is the way that life is, and you just kind of came to terms with it and made the best of the situation.
Yeah, I guess I just eventually got to a point where I realized no one is going to come and save me from this. No one's going to swoop in and make it all better. You know, doctors say there's a cure right around the corner. There isn't. I mean, they told me when I was first diagnosed that, you know, like 5-10 years, you know, things are going to change. And, you know, therapies have gotten better and treatment's gotten better, but there isn't a cure. They keep telling you there is, but there isn't.
Right.
So for me, it eventually got to the point where I was like, okay, it's either just wallowing in self-pity and kind of, you know, being sad because I know this is never going to go away, or the alternative, which was, well, I do know this is never going away, so, I mean, you got to make the best of it because no one's going to come in and fix it for you.
Right.
The only person who can fix it is you.
And you can't really even fix it either. It's just, you live with it.
Yeah, I mean, you make the most of it. I mean, you can find a way to integrate it in your life, so that, you know, it is a source of stress and it is kind of a pain point, but there is a way of approaching it where it is not nearly as difficult as some people make it out to be.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess kind of looping back to the self-sabotage thing, I do think that it's buried in people's subconscious and they have no idea that they're doing it with these actions, the words that they speak. When you go out of your way to just point out all the bad shit that's going on in your life, it's almost like things manifest that way. They continue to just build and build and build, and your life just continues to get worse and worse and worse, instead of just making the best of the situation and then just moving forward with it.
Yeah. I guess the real issue is that a lot of the attention that you're also getting from it is that, you know, like the likes and the comments, those aren't your friends either. Because they
mean nothing in all reality.
It's absolutely meaningless, because those people that are coming in and leaving a comment or a like or something, that's all they're going to do for you. Within those, they're going to take 10 seconds aside and be like, oh, that sucks, I feel so bad for you. And then that's it.
Then they're already distracted by something else. They've already forgot that you even have this issue. Right.
They move on to the next person who's got this victim mentality, and they're like, oh, I feel so bad for you. And it doesn't get you anywhere.
No, we've all been there, including myself. You know, if I'm dealing with just some bullshit, I think we've all been there where we type something up, you know, where we type up a pity party post.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And sometimes we post it. I posted it one time, as after that last breakup.
Yeah.
I did post something, and then within 5 seconds, I was like, what the fuck did I just do? And I deleted it.
Yeah.
So if you have been there, it's normal. We've all done it. But it's just, and it's okay to sometimes point out, hey, things fucking suck right now.
It just depends.
But it's whenever it becomes a repeating.
It depends on how you're tackling it. So if your way of coping is to go on social media and air your dirty laundry out to your friends or the public, that's actually not going to get you anywhere, and it could make your situation a whole lot worse.
You need a new coping mechanism.
Yeah, that's not how you cope with trauma. The way you cope with trauma is you find someone you trust and can confide in, and then talk to them about it. And that's how you reach a solution. That's how you deal with your issues. No one on social media, unless some miracle happens, no one on social media is going to see your post and then like send you a DM and be like, dude, I can fix this for you.
No. You might get someone, I will say, you know, if you're just fucked up, say, let's use depression as an example. If you're just at the end of your rope and you just need someone to talk to, and you post something pretty much being like, I need someone to fucking talk to, do that. Absolutely do that. But start looking for an alternative after that, like counseling. I mean, I have a counselor.
I mean, if you have absolutely no one and you have no idea who you could even talk to, that's one thing you could do.
And that's okay. I just don't want people to think that we're like, don't ever admit that there's something wrong with you. Because that's fucked.
No, you need to admit it. You need to verbalize and express exactly how you're feeling and why you're feeling that way. But it's just the medium. So pulling up the Facebook app and typing up a little status isn't going to work. And I mean, as we all know, for the most part, Facebook is a pretty toxic place to be in the first place.
Yeah.
So not only are you airing your dirty laundry or your trauma, to put it more positively, there are people who care who will see that and they may help you, but there are people who don't like you who are going to see that and they may want to use that to their advantage.
Right, you're putting your weaknesses on display.
And it might just, when you do that, you might even just make them feel better. And that's not the point of, expressing your grievances.
Yeah, so we'll get off that horse now, but definitely don't stay in that mindset. And I guess that's kind of where we were going at with it. Don't stay in that victim mindset where everything's wrong with me and it's never going to get better. And you continue to do things that make it worse for you, for the attention and all this other stuff. If there's something wrong, start looking for a solution. You can read. There's endless YouTube videos. There's endless resources available to you to find a solution for this. Like whenever I was losing my shit in May, I got a counselor. I don't have any problems fucking telling people that. And there was a lot of shit that was not being addressed from my childhood, early 20s, all this stuff. And it finally just erupted and I got professional help and it was the best thing I could have done. But as soon as I realized I had an issue, I started finding solutions. Mm-hmm. And that's the opposite of the victim mentality. It's a growth mindset. If you have a growth mindset, you continue to build and improve your situation.
Yeah, and you need self-awareness. You need to be able to kind of get out of your own head and kind of get an overview of yourself and make judgments that way. Because if you're just completely controlled by your emotions and whatever bad feelings you're having, then you're never going to be fixed because it's all self-enforcing.
What would you suggest as a tactic to improve self-awareness?
Write shit down.
Yeah.
Honestly, we all go through our phases, and I remember kind of 2015, 2016. I mean, you know where I've been at that point, and what helped me a lot was writing down what I was feeling and who I felt wronged by, and kind of laid it all out. And it's really hard to do because those negative feelings are very primal.
Your body almost feeds on them, dude.
Yeah, they come from a very, very deep place. And so if you can at least move those feelings out from that area in your head and you can turn them into words, that's going to help you a whole lot more. And then once you've written them down, you can then go back a day later or two later and look it over again, see if that's actually how you feel.
And a lot of times it's not anymore.
Yeah, it passes.
And I think that's a positive thing as well, because you can realize that you're making progress and you're getting out of that hole that you're in.
Sure.
So, if something is bothering you and you write it down and you go back a couple of days later and you look at it and you're like, I don't feel that bad anymore.
Sure.
That right there is a huge boost in just confidence, mm-hmm. and it increases courage because you're like, I'm getting through this.
Exactly. So, write everything if you can. You don't have to write a freaking novel every time you're writing something down, but
write until it's all out. In my opinion, that's what you should do. Like, write a novel if you need to.
If you got it in you,
right?
Yeah, go ahead.
If that's what it takes, if you have that much shit built up that you mm-hmm. just need to get out, just write until it's all out on the table.
Yeah, and then look at that, and then try to figure out where you want to be if that's how you're still feeling. If that's a feeling that or a thought that isn't going away, what you should do after that is then figure out where you want to be, because you don't want to be there forever.
I think you should write that down as well. So, write down what's bothering you, what's going on in your life that you don't like. And then on another piece of paper, write down what you need to do to change that.
Yeah, exactly. And being able to write things down, if you don't have anybody you can go to, honestly, that alone can help you so much, even if you don't have anyone you feel like you could talk to or express your thoughts to.
A lot of times that's all you need, man. It's just some way to get it out. I've talked to people, a lot of times I will just write it out, and just getting that out, getting that energy moving, it helps tremendously.
Mm-hmm. And then, you and I both know this, but exercise.
Yeah, exercise, right? And then get your ass in the damn gym, go for a run. I love lifting weights, but the thing that has helped me the most when I'm just like losing my shit, which happens every few months.
No.
But whenever I'm like really just fucked, I run, man. I just run. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go and I'll work out.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably go run again. But I really think it's just a matter of getting that energy moving in your body, that negative built up energy, and just mm-hmm. get that shit rolling. There's been times where I'm laying in bed and I can't sleep, and my whole body is just like, get the fuck up, move. And you got to listen to yourself.
I've witnessed that actually.
Yeah, when you lived with me. Yeah, I mean, listen to your body. Like if your body's saying you need to fucking move, you probably need to move. Like animals do that. So ducks, when ducks fucking get pissed off at each other and they fight, immediately afterwards they shake it off.
Yep.
And then they just go along majestically, like nothing ever happened. But somewhere along the lines, we quit doing that as people. You know, we stopped shaking it off, and even just doing that right now, I probably look fucking ridiculous on camera. But
even
just
when
shaking it out,
you look ridiculous.
Yeah,
so.
that's a good point. But yeah, just so there's a couple different techniques, guys. But the main thing is, if there's something wrong in your life, or if you're feeling a certain way, the last thing you need to do is think that you're a victim and that's never going to change. Have some self-awareness, figure out what that problem is, and then start coming up with solutions to change it immediately.
And talk to whoever you need to talk to. If you don't have anyone, like we talked about, just write it down, get it out, visualize it, and that'll provide a lot more context around what you're feeling and why. Because if you don't know why you're feeling a certain way, I mean, then...
Yeah, I think writing out itself will help kind of... It helps condense everything. It helps kind of structure your thoughts instead of it just fucking going haywire in your brain.
Right, and that's kind of the biggest issue when those thoughts are racing in your head, is the fact that they're racing and you have no way to just like grasp them and dwell on them or whatever.
So getting it on a piece of paper, that way you can look at it, reevaluate your situation, is the way to go. But that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to share it with someone that could use it. And yeah, thanks for listening to the Norse Mentality.